Hey everyone, wanted to do a tutorial type video on my natural recipe for deodorant, and I'll show you the ingredients and how much is used, and then I'll go through the process with you. Okay, we use African shea butter, right here dear, coconut oil, and you're going to want to use 2 tablespoons of shea butter and 3 tablespoons of coconut oil. And then I use 1.5 tablespoons of, what is this stuff? Cornstarch. And then 1.5 of the baking soda. And then this stuff, it's arrowroot, and I use 2 tablespoons. So everything's in tablespoons. So we're gonna take the coconut oil and the shea butter, and if you have a double boiler, you can use that. If you don't, you can ghetto it up like I do, and I just heat about 1 inch of water or so. And then I put the pan on, and it'll get hot really fast. So this is a makeshift double boiler if you don't have one. And you want it all to melt down. Those are the only 2 ingredients you're gonna heat up at all. So it'll take probably a couple minutes to heat down or melt. So alright, so just stir that until it's melted, and this is melted. You don't want to get it boiling or anything. So just, if the pan's hot, which it probably will be, I always use an oven mitt. And then wipe off the bottom, because it's going to be wet. So, alright, this is really hot. Really hot, so please be very careful and make sure you don't have little kids around. I usually wait just a couple minutes for it to cool down and then put in my powdered stuff. This does not matter what order you put this in. I'll get the phone. Pause. Okay, so it's cooled down just a tiny bit, so it's not really hot anymore. I'm gonna put in my cornstarch. And like I said, really you can just put this all in at one time. I just wanted to do 3 different little bowls so you guys know that there's 3 different powdered ingredients that go into this. So the arrowroot you're going to want to get at a health food store. If you can't find it at a health food store, I really like to order mine on Mountain Rose Herbs. They have bulk prices, and if you're going to be doing this a lot, then their prices are really good. And their quality is good, and that's what you want. You want good quality. They do sell quality baking soda on Mountain Rose Herbs. I would recommend buying from them instead of going to Walmart as I have. So believe it or not, the quality of baking soda you have does make a difference in the stuff that you use it for. So just stir this in all the way. It'll still be pretty liquidy, and I can tell you that it really just doesn't smell that great right now. So if you're thinking of cooling it like this and using it, I'm going to highly recommend that you don't, because it smells like shea butter, like a really strong shea butter smell mixed in with some other stuff. So I stir this for a little bit. You can use a whisk if you're smarter than me. It might help mix things a lot better. And then you're going to want to put in whatever essential oils that you want. I'm gonna use lavender and like a couple drops of On Guard and juniper berry. And I'm probably using a bit more girly ones this time because this deodorant's just for me because my husband still has his deodorant. I just go through it a lot faster. He is not a stinky man, so he doesn't need it that much at all. So yeah. Alright, so I would recommend using quality essential oils. Don't use the really cheap ones that you can get in the store. Those are synthetic majority of the time, and you're not going to want that. So I really just randomly put in however much. It's like 5 drops. And I put it back in there. I'll probably only use like 2 drops of On Guard because I'm not using this for the smell. I'm just using it so my armpits don't get funky, I guess. Why is this? Oh, I'm almost out. Whoops. Okay, that'll count as the 2 drops. Huh. Can you tell I'm not a professional at making these videos? This is very real life, folks. This is how we do it. Life is not a TV show. Sweetie, you are not a TV show either. My husband's recording me right now. And he's a bit fancy. Okay, so then mix that all in very well. So there's probably in total about 12 to 15 drops total of all 3 of those oils. So mix that in really good. You're gonna want to let this goo up a little bit. You want it to be peanut butter consistency when you put it in your deodorant containers. I have put it in deodorant containers like this, where the bottoms were flat and it didn't leak through. If you have the ones that do not leak through the bottom, then you can put it in like this. I started to put it in the refrigerator and let it cool to get to a thicker consistency so that it's a lot easier to transfer into the container, and when I put it in the fridge it won't spill out of the container. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the fridge for like, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes. So yes. Okay, so this is out of the fridge now, and this is what it'll look like. I am actually going to stir it up. In there, we got slightly distracted with a phone call, so it's a little bit thicker than I usually make it, but if you stir it up, it'll pretty quickly go the way it's supposed to go. So no big deal, and you can see how this is going to be so much easier to put in the container than the liquid one. With the liquid one, I had used a funnel to put it in here, but a lot of the product stayed in the funnel because it was so thick. So this is just a tedious process of scooping it in there with your spoon. So like I said, putting it in the fridge is not something that you have to do. If you have the clear deodorant containers, those ones are going to be flat and they're not going to have any holes in them, so you can pour the liquid in there. Just don't fill them all the way to the top, because when you put them in the fridge and you open your fridge and close it, it could shake it a little bit and it could spill out. So yeah, this is only if you have the containers that have holes in them, or you just want to do this way because you feel it would be easier. So it's whatever your choice is. And these deodorant containers you can get on Etsy or on eBay. So, and they're really cheap. These ones, the clear ones, are actually a lot cheaper than the black ones. The clear ones are like 80 cents each, and these ones are $1.25, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but that's about how much I paid anyways. Do a little bit of shopping if you're wanting to save 5 or 10 cents. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these in here, and then I'll show you the final whenever I'm done. So this is the finished product. Well, not the finished product because it's not put in the fridge yet, but it makes 1.5 sticks. So you can double or triple this batch. I have definitely tripled it before, right before we moved into an RV, so that we had plenty of deodorant and I wouldn't have to worry about it as we were trying to settle in. And it works just fine. Just make sure that you keep the ratios accurate. I will tell you that this is a recipe that needs to be put and stayed in the fridge because it doesn't have beeswax in it, so it will melt if you're in a hot climate. If you're in a cooler climate and it's pretty cool most of the time, like really cool, then it's fine to keep out, but it does melt easily. I personally always keep mine in the fridge, and I'm so used to it now, I just automatically go to the fridge for my deodorant, and it'll be cold, but it's fine. It does the job and it works great for us. My husband does leave his out because it's hard to twist up, and he gets really annoyed sometimes because whenever it sits in the fridge it gets cold, and especially when it's first done, it's really hard to twist up. So you're going to want to leave it out and let it get to room temperature and then twist it up. So twist it up to however much you need it, use it, and then put it back in the fridge. And then once it gets low again, it should be okay to twist up, but if not, just leave it out again and you should be fine. With the whole baking soda thing, I know that there are a lot of people who have had issues with either having a reaction to baking soda or something like that. I had a pretty bad reaction when I used a recipe online the first time, and it was really bad. So we altered a couple different recipes several times, and this is what we came up with. But there's only 1.5 tablespoons of baking soda in this one. If you feel like it's too strong, then lower it down to 1, but you're gonna want to have baking soda in there because it's what keeps the stink away. So definitely use baking soda, just not that much, and it should help you out a lot. But if you guys have any questions, just leave a comment below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. But this recipe works great for us. We've been using it for about a year now. And if you are new to using a home recipe, you might have a little detox time on your pits, but and you can just Google that, but other than that, it should just work fine. So let me know if you have any questions. So that's all I got.